takings, especially with pressure, with constant change and all these other things. Can someone tell me how emotions are created? Do they just happen by themselves? They might if you've got a psych disorder, okay? There's not a presentation about that.
Aren't they stimulus from something that's happening?
Thank you. A stimulus from something that's happened. Okay. We're going to call our stimulus adversity, or an activating event, thing, or person. Okay? It's activated this emotion. Is that a good colour change? See, I'm tricking you all, forcing you to use the other side of your brain, whichever side you've been using. Change colours, apparently that's what does it. What happens when faced with adversity? An annoying person, a difficult circumstance, a sale not going through that you're banking on, a key deliverable falling over, months of hard work. What happens?
Chemical reaction.
Chemical reaction, indeed, thank you. What then occurs?
Get stressed.
Stress. You get a consequence, don't you? Okay, consequences come in two types, emotional and physical. Yep, but it's exactly right. I'm looking for another term. This is awesome. Those things are what?
Tangible.
Tangible, they are, because they are what? Thank you, thank you, thank you. They are what? They can fall under the categorization of a, starts with a B,
Body.
something a body would do. Thank you, Sylvie. Sylvie got it right. Round of applause to Sylvie. She said behavioural. Now, at least one member from my team who's here today has sat through my presentation skills training that I got to roll out to the team late last year, and I use this stuff for nerves in public speaking, so they're probably all over some of these concepts. But I won't get them up here to give the rest of the tutorial, that's okay. You feel something, you do something, let's say somebody has upset you. Who has ever been guilty of saying, you make me so mad, or words to that effect? I did try to turn it down. The reality is that it feels like that person made you feel that way, but that's only because of a concept that was introduced to you, that you agreed to, perhaps without realising it, long before you were probably able to make those kinds of decisions. Because we've all been conditioned that way somehow. Someone upsets you. You get angry, frustrated, you get any one of a number of negative emotions, and you do something. Yell and scream, kick, fluster, whatever it is. Psychosomatic. And it feels real because it happens so fast, we don't realise where it's going and how fast it jumps from one to the other. You get asked to public speak, unless of course you're a public speaking nerd, and you love it, you think it's really good. You sweaty palms, start to worry, give you beliefs about yourself. Oh, what's going to happen? We've all got preferences, haven't we? We've all got things we prefer happen in our everyday lives. We prefer that things go our way. We like it, things go away, but once a day would do. We prefer that people treat us with some degree of respect every now and again. Someone holds the door for us, or you're called sir or ma'am, whatever it is. That's kind of nice. Or someone gives us an opportunity or agrees with what we're trying to share with them. And we all prefer that we as people would have a degree of success in the things that we're attempting with. That's a fairly rational preference. But what actually happens is, how these negative emotions come up is that when we're busy jumping from there to there, what are those rational preferences? There's three types. They're about yourself and your performance, other people and how they may treat you, or the circumstance. It's triggered. And it goes from down here in Rationalville, of being a rational preference, to shooting right up to here and becoming an irrational belief or a must belief, because people must treat me with respect, they mustn't do this. How dare this occur to me? These might be some of the things you might start to say to yourself. See how we're moving the language also into from, yeah, this would be nice, fairly rational, fairly neutral, to an extreme. How dare this happen to me? Why me? I remember I was driving across this very bridge one day, I'm sure as we all have. First thing in the morning, I was on my way out to Manly a number of years ago to a sales group that I was going to be speaking at. So I thought I'd go out and see how they operated, have a bit of a chat, and just line up a few logistics before I got out there and see who else was presenting that day. On the way out, I should have been enjoying the sunrise coming over the harbour and enjoying the trip out there. But instead, still working on becoming more rational. I'd been doing a lot of driving at that stage. Back then, I used to speak in high schools. I used to motivate Australia's youth. I've spoken in over 100 high schools, and what a challenge that is. I only fear for my future when I have children. However, they were awesome, and I taught me how to be a presenter better than anyone else could. And even the toughest questions I've ever had, I would never change a single one. But I found it frustrating going out there sometimes because I'm driving around a lot of small little back streets non-stop, even to go out and have meetings, and you're going in the middle of nowhere, and I kind of got a bit over it, okay? So what happened was I'm driving out this day thinking, I don't know to drive somewhere. And I had a light bulb moment. I thought, I've been driving with my brother on the weekend, and my brother's an interesting character. He's been told that he could drive getaway cars. Everything is a rally or a race to get somewhere. I thought, it's about to come to 80km limit, I can speed up a bit, have a bit of fun here. Make this a bit more of an enjoyable drive. Does that sound like a wise choice at that point? Can you see where this may be going? All right, so I decided to speed up. I took a few people, cruising along thinking that I'm killing it. Come up to the exit, and I don't know if any of you remember in the 80s, I understand I'm showing my age now, but in the 80s there used to still be a few of those old, they might have been from the 80s actually, but this was the early 2000s, it was a relic. Those old orange Toyota Corollas, made of metal, when everything used to be made of metal on a car. It was one of those at the lights, and it was slowly putting across. It was the only car I had to get out of my way to get across the light, so I was stuck right up behind it. And I don't normally drive like that, but I was up behind it, that's what I'm telling you. And I was up behind it, and the light goes from green to amber. I'm thinking, come on, get across it, get across it, get across it. Got me up behind it. 3, 2, 1, it slides just across the line, I forward behind it, and red light camera, ching! Back then it was $186, I think. That was a smart move, Craig, wasn't it? So, what happened after that? I hit the steering wheel a couple of times, I spawned, I swear, 7.5 years in the army. Who am I kidding? I hit the steering wheel, but I just recently, not long before, done the course that explains what I'm sharing with you today. So I thought, okay, let's put this stuff into work and see what happens. So I started rationalising it out, and I thought about all the things we say to ourselves. You've only got yourself to blame. Well, I've just learned, blaming myself isn't really good. Ever heard the saying, I don't play the blame game? Some people even use that as a bit of a joke. But if you remove that and realise, okay, the reality is this has happened, how do we deal with it and focus more on taking care of what's just happened? It's easy to remove the blame for it. I thought about yelling and screaming and everything else. Then I decided to focus on the next part of this. What comes after C in the alphabet? Told you the questions are going to be simple. D, thank you. That is to dispute your irrational belief. Sometimes it's really hard to diagnose what the irrational belief's going on, and sometimes it might be more than one irrational belief. So it could have been, when I came across the lights, it could have been, damn, this person, why are they such a crap, slow driver? Of course, I'm the faultless driver in this situation, thinking that I'm killing it. Then I could have reflected back and gone, how could I be so stupid? So sometimes there's more of this than going on. When working with someone in your team, it may be about looking at how many of these are going on and then picking the most dominant one right now. So in that instance, I could have very easily been blaming the orange Corolla driver. So you've got to pick one to work with. You can't work with more than one at a time. It's too confusing. started with that. There's 16 different ways to go about disputing irrational beliefs. I prefer to keep it simple. Use the scientific method. Where's the proof? Now, science, to my understanding, limited as it is of science, is that science never actually gives you proof, despite what the media will tell you is scientific proof. They find evidence to support. So, where is the proof that I have to be angry at the other person? Where is the proof that that person wasn't going to do what they always did? Just cut slowly along. They're in an 80s Corolla, for goodness sake. Probably 81 or 79, who knows. By disputing it, it starts to, okay, it may not work the first attempt, but it starts to remove the negative energy from it. Where's the proof